Hey everyone, it's Mace1370, and today we are going to go over my Guild War battles against Whale. Before we get into it though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, please check the video description below for a link to my Discord. So the first battle here is against YD. His round 1 consists of T-Surin, Remnant Violet, and Cerise. I choose to bring Blue Crow. He will give defense buff, an Aureus mitigation for my team. He can also horse Rylet and kill him through, the evasion mechanic. So that'll easily take care of Rylet. I also have a light and a dark unit, so I'm going to be splitting the damage from this team onto 2 different targets, so I don't have to worry about all of the damage going on one. The T-Surin will be, her AI automatically will attack dark, so she'll hit Caesarado, debuffing him, allowing him to counter back to the enemy team, and then Rylet will go into Ruel typically, because she is a light unit. And she's on Water's Origin and is quite tanky, plus the defense buff and Aureus from Crow. I don't have to worry about her dying. So my first job here is to take out the T-Surin and the Cerise, which is pretty easy because Caesarado's counterattacks is going to be transferring debuffs back to the enemy team. T-Surin will constantly be debuffing him, meaning he will constantly be countering, and that kind of gets around T-Surin's passive of requiring multiple hits to kill. I'm getting multiple hits via Caesarado's counters. Now the enemy is just Rylet, and I have Blue Crow for that, so it doesn't really even matter if we proc a passive here, since we have Ruel. And I think Ruel is a really strong healer to pair with Blue Crow, because her heals are single target, and you don't have to worry about healing Blue Crow up if you want to leave him in horse range and you want to heal somebody else. So this is a problem, like if you bring a more AoE healer like Diane, or healer on Rod, which Diane also has, or often has, it's going to be constantly healing the Crow and bringing him back up to full health and making it awkward if you want a horse. So I really like Ruel and Blue Crow together in Guild War, and then just alternating whatever DPS is necessary. So here we have round 2, and YD's team has a Tea Time Tenebria, so you always have to worry about debuffs against a team like this. I brought Fallen Cecilia because she is faster than my ML Crow and my Rowana, which means that Tea Time will not strip immunity from them. She'll strip the shield, so I don't have to worry about her initial debuffs at all. Rowana is also on Stella Harpa, so she can dispel a little bit if need be. Seaside Bellona is really easily countered by Blue Crow plus Rowana here. It'll just be a very easy fight, and my team is all super tanky, so I just don't even have to worry about the RB. I also even have Rowana's, res buff, if it really comes down to that. I think the trickiest part of this fight is being able to have a team that can handle the debuffs from Tea Time Tenebria, but also tank the damage from SSB and RB. So I think that these 3 are easily able to handle it. Unfortunately, the res buff gets stripped there. Looks like Tea Time is on Violin, but my first order of business is to kill her, since I'm really not worried about the other 2 so much. I decided to attack the SSB. I think technically it's probably better just to kill the RB first to get rid of him, but she was pretty low and almost dead, and honestly I'm not really worried about this. It's pretty much over. Here I accidentally left my phone unattended for a while, so we have to speed up the video a little bit just to get through absolutely nothing happening there. One of the nice things about Guild Wars is you can walk away for 10 minutes and come back, and it's still there for the most part. Just don't turn your phone off. I think that disconnects you. Okay, so that is the end of that fight. Okay, so next up we have the fight against Potatoballs. He is in one of their forts. YD was in another fort. I forget who was in the 3rd fort, and Soul Train is in their stronghold. So I've run into Potatoballs a few different times on the ladder. He has super strong gear. He has amazing speed DPS gear. It's truly disgusting. So I was a little scared as to what we might face on these defense teams. For this one he's using Cerise and ML Tywin. Pretty good combo to strip away immunity and keep people debuffed, slowed, stunned, etc. And then Rylet for damage. So I think I had seen from other people that the Rylet was on the slower side, so I'm not really worried about too much here, since my DJ Basar will be able to push everything up and get that Spectre Tenebria to go before him. and I had the Falconer Clury, you know, to get rid of his evasion, and so it'll be just a really easy job of, you know, tossing a skill 3 onto him and eliminating the damage source from this team. And, you know, now I have the immunity buff from DJB, so the debuffs from Tywin and Cerise are just not going to do anything. I suppose this is a little bit of a DJB showcase. Tywin was able to stun him there at the start of the fight, which is kind of crazy. My DJB has 250 ER, or maybe even a little more. So this Tywin has quite a bit of effectiveness, I guess at least 150. You know, probably like 200 or so. So if Tywin had stunned my DJB, this would have been a very different fight. I think it would have been in a pretty bad spot, since Rylot would have been able to get his turn and would have put his evasion buff back up. I think with Defense Break, I probably still would have been able to kill him, but it would have been a lot different, because I guess, yeah, DJB would have also eaten a skill 3, I guess. Yeah, it could have gone south. I like the idea of having, you know, units kind of built a little differently than people would expect on Guild War defenses. You know, Tywins these days are almost all built bruiser and damage and stuff for RTA, but if you build like a really fast one with super high effectiveness, it could really take people off guard and completely screw him, right? Because if he went and like stunned my Stenny and my DJB or something, that would have been real bad. And this is one of the reasons I advocate really strongly for Smilegate to implement different inventories, or like, I guess gear sets would be a better word for it, for different types of content. Some people argue that if you did that, then your best gear would just be used, you know, in multiple ways and you wouldn't have to farm as much gear. I don't really think that's the case. I think that your best gear would be on, you know, the heroes you would use on your defense teams for those purposes, but you may not use them in RTA or on your offensive teams. I think it would open up a lot of interesting possibilities. You know, because a lot of people can build really strong units, but they don't want to put the gear on them just for Guild War defense, right? Because they want to climb RTA, or they want to, you know, climb arena, or just do whatever, something else is the point. So for the second team here, we have FCC, Landy, and Holiday Euphine. And I'm actually kind of impressed by how fast this team is turn cycling. I brought Aras and Ravi because I wanted, you know, 2 fire units to hopefully get misses from Landy and, you know, mitigate the offensive pressure from the team. Unfortunately, like, they just constantly get crit by Landy, which is kind of tragic, but it is what it is. And Landy does go back into Guiding Light there, so we're going to have to take out the Holiday Euphine first.
I'll send you all away. I'm sure fortune will be on our side today as well.
I think this, you know, the team I'm running to defeat this should be pretty consistent, since even if my Ravi and Ras eat multiple crits from Landy, the fact that I have Ruel, she can revive if I really need to. You know, if my RNG is really bad. Yes, here's another double crit on fire. So here I could hold Ras's skill 2 and wait until I have souls to soul burn it. I elect just to go into the Holiday Euphine. I wanted the defense break so that I would be able to finish her off really quickly, because I didn't want her to get back around to her skill 3, you know, which would CR push them again. Unfortunately, I did not get the defense break, so there wasn't much of a payoff there. Here we heal up Ruel just because she's getting low.
Shall I let you dream endlessly?
Landy is out of stealth. We get a skill 3 from our Ravi. So we got a stun on the Holiday Euphine there. And we're able to strip away the speed buff from Landy. But then Landy goes back into stealth before we can finish her off. That's a pretty fat barrier there. I think it's like a 29k fall on Cecilia, so pretty nice gear on her. Landy already has max fighting spirit, I think, or whatever resource she uses, so I put up defense buff. It's not going to tick her up anymore, or at least not this turn. And you can see how many turns the enemy is taking here because of that speed buff and the CR push from Holiday Euphine. It's kind of crazy. So like right now, FCC and Landy are all the way in the back of the CR bar. My Ravi does get a counter. I debate about soul burning here to heal up. I decide just to do it. Like, I kind of play Guild Wars safe, usually. You know, like, why risk dying? Just heal up. Alright, so Holiday Euphine is down. Landy passes my Ravi with the speed buff. Zooms right on by, so does the FCC. But I do have skill 3 from Ravi again. So we're able to stun both here, and that really just takes the pressure off. So even though Landy's in stealth, I can just chip down Fallen Cecilia and take her out.
If I must fight.
Usually against Landy teams, I like bringing Basar, but the Holiday Euphine here made that, you know, not really possible. You could take another, like, CC unit, I suppose, like maybe Visaria or something. You know, and potentially speed tune her to be slower, so you let the AI use the Holiday Euphine skill 3, and then you just, you know, rip your unbuffable skill to break out the Landy and then kill her. That could be another way of handling this type of team.
This won't be an easy fight.
Here I just go into the Fallen Cecilia to take her out, and now we all have to deal with this Landy. And Ruwa has all of her skills available, so we're totally safe.
I'll send you all away.
And that's the end of this fight.
Whoa, we won! We really did it!
Okay, so this next fight is against Lacari. He was not in a fort or stronghold, but I had to do it for content. His first team is FCC, Landy, and Dain. So this team is Basar food. You can pretty much just bring him and like a couple speedy DPS and, you know, you'll beat this. I like ML Lulu and Spectre Tenebria. You know, Tenebria can hold book, which is going to help me soul burn and finish them off quickly. Tenebria, or ML Lulu can CR push and help me take more turns, and this is a big nuker, so she'll kill off someone fast. I think a variant of this team that is probably better on defense would be to swap out Dain for Tempest Surin. If you do that, it's best if you put Tempest Surin on Moonlight Dreamblade, because people will bring the exact offensive comp that I'm using right here into that, and it'll win every time if you don't have Dreamblade on T-Surin. So you're really just playing for that 20% of T-Surin Dreamblading, probably Basar or ML Lulu. You actually have a lot of shots to get the Dreamblade off, because Basar will skill 3, so you could Dreamblade that one, and then ML Lulu will soul burn her skill 1, you know, attacking the Tempest Surin, so you have another 2 shots there, so you have 3 shots to Dreamblade once, and I think if you Dreamblade once on any one of those, you have a shot of at least deleting a couple units on the enemy team. And of course not everybody, I guess, has Spectre and ML Lulu, so I think it's a reasonable defense. There's really nothing these days that I would classify as a great defense, you know, that you're really going to have a lot of trouble with. You just kind of have to stack your defensive comps with RNG and hope something happens. Here, now that we've killed Landy, there's no way that Dain and Fallen Cecilia, you know, can even hope to kill anyone on our team. They just have no damage. I think I did have to set my phone down there for a second. This is actually my first video recording on a phone. I wanted to get the Guild War matches in early before I could sit down at my computer, so I just did them on the phone. I was afraid if I didn't do the matches early, then all of the well-known towers would have been taken out. So here on our second match, we have Aras, Fire Ravi, and Falconer Clury. I decided to bring SSB into this because, you know, she'll easily take out the Fire Ravi and the Adventure Ross. I'm not really worried about them. And once they're both dead, there's really no way Flurry can kill me. I do have to kill the Flurry, though. I have no idea how good Lacari's gear is. I know he started playing somewhat recently. So I admit I didn't put a ton of thought into this team. I figured it would just be, you know, pretty autopilot here. Like, I could probably turn this on auto if I wanted to. And what you'll see is SSB does indeed quickly kill the Aras and the Ravi. But they're also the one giving her stacks. And because Falconer Clury is a green unit, SSB can miss against her, which can be very awkward. Here she hits, but it doesn't really matter because it's the start of the fight. And once Aras and Ravi are dead, then SSB is going to be doing actually less damage, right? Because her passive is not going to be activated as much relative to the number of turns that Falconer Clary is taking. Clary is Death Broken here, so actually I probably should have gone into Clary, honestly, and just tried to kill her while she had Death Break. But now they all have Death Break.
Fortune will favor us.
All right, try me. Attack.
Assist me.
Here I go. I hope you're ready.
I'll go.
So they keep going into Lilius here. Aras does go down.
Run.
So now it is just Clary and Ravi.
Don't worry. Fly, Flurry. Get him.
And Falconer Clary can actually be pretty annoying on Guild War defense if you put JFA on her and you make her super fast. Another really annoying variant you can use is if you put Ranans, I think Memorandum or Memoriam or whatever it's called. It's a 3-star artifact, and it gives the hero stacking speed increase. I think it stacks up to 10 times. So if you use that plus like an absurdly fast Falconer Clary, you can get her to like some obscenely high speed, like I want to say like way north of 300, right? So she'll just be zooming around the bar. JFA kind of does the same thing, you know, because she'll get speed buff every so often.
I'll start.
Here, unfortunately, SSB does get stunned.
I never lose.
I wanted to take out the Aras first because I knew he would give immunity to Ravi, which is going to make it a lot harder to kill her, since, you know, a big part of the way that SSB does damage is through, you know, defense break.
It takes a lot of courage to challenge me. This way.
Wait.
And here I'm just attacking the Clary to not give Ravi stacks while I'm waiting for my SSB to wake up.
I'm sure Fortune will be on our side today as well. It's too late to back out now.
I'll show you. who's
So
in
no
charge.
defense break, unfortunate.
Here I go. Come here. I'll help you. Flurry, spread your wings. Attack.
There's probably a team I could have used that would have taken this out a lot faster,
Favor us. Goddess.
but I figured that this one was pretty safe.
I'll start. You're not bad at all. For a rookie.
And now that Ras is dead, we don't have to worry about Ravi getting immunity, and it's just a matter of time before SSB is able to defense breaker.
Smashed into pieces.
I was praying for a miss here just so the fight wouldn't take another 10 minutes if SSB got stunned.
Go easy on you.
All right. Try
Missed
me.
defense break again.
This way.
Now, bring it on. I'm sure Fortune will be on our side today as well.
I'll show you who's in charge. Attack.
Don't worry.
And at this point, I'm starting to wonder if I can even kill them.
Let's start with something light.
Okay, so now we finally get the defense break on the Ravi.
Fortune will favor us.
I'll start. This way.
I decided just to go into her since she's defense broken, and luckily SSB attacks, so she dies. So now it is just my team against Clary. So I soulburn SSB here, hoping to land the debuffs, but she misses, so that doesn't happen. And now I speed the video up because I swear my SSB missed probably like 8 times in a row. Like, it was insane. She just couldn't land a single thing. Like, you can see here, no debuffs on Flurry, even though they're zooming by. Like, I know I can kill once I get a defense break, I just actually have to land one. Okay, so target debuff helps a bit, and now we finally get our defense break. Flurry does see our booster self a bit there, which is unfortunate, but we're able to go into her with a defense break from Lilius, and then SSB can follow up. and do a significant amount of damage to her. And so now she's pretty low.
Fly, Flurry! Get him!
I'll show you who's in charge. This way.
And we get a crit there from SSB, almost doing it.
Go easy on you.
Another miss.
Will favor us. Goddess.
I'm starting to worry at this point that she's just going to heal back up, and I'm going to have to wait for another defense break.
Attack.
Shall we?
But we double crit for the win.
It was entertaining.
That's all. Thanks for watching.